great.
You're great.
You know what is pretty great?
Your face.
You guys are pretty great.
Thanks.
I'm talking to the viewers right now.
You were not looking at them, so.
You guys are great.
What's up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show. Tonight, Tyler is with us. Welcome back, sir. I mean, you were with us last week, but just not here in person. So we're happy to have you back.
Yeah, thanks. I'm trying to, Murphy's Law this thing into existence at this point. Still waiting on that baby. So
we need to go cheer it on.
Dude, I talk to the baby pretty much daily at this point to say, hey, whenever you want to get here, we're ready to meet you.
We're ready if you're ready. So let's.
So if you can, speed this thing up.
Just trying.
But we'll see.
But yeah, so Tyler's back. Luke's over there on the end. I'm Brett. That's a nice wave. Thank you, Luke.
You know what? I love The Crown, and they do that a lot in The Crown. So
I'm really bad at waving.
Cup your hand.
No.
Like you're swimming.
Yep. Okay. But I'm not swimming.
No,
with
you're waving. You're just rotating your wrist.
Just wrist. It's just wrist.
It's all in the wrist.
Is it like this?
No.
Am I doing it right?
You should stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome back to this train wreck of an episode.
You're welcome.
Trailers. We have some new trailers before we hop into our main topics tonight. There's one I know Luke's dying to talk about. So Luke, what was the new trailer that came out this week?
Don't know which one you're talking about because you could be serious or ironic about that.
Let's go with the one you're serious about.
Okay, there was a big D2 showcase, and they had like a 40-minute deep dive into the final shape, which comes out in February. And yes, I am very excited. It looks awesome. Lots of people were mad that they didn't show enough, and I am the opposite. I really appreciated that they were pretty vague.
It was very teasery,
yeah.
right? Here's a little information, but you want to save those surprises for actually playing.
It's like, hey, here's some cool stuff that's coming. Yeah. We're not really going to go into the story other than you're going inside the trailer, and that is super awesome. And then there was also a trailer for the new season too, which was super good too.
Their season trailers are honestly always really intriguing.
Uh-huh.
The seasons have been hit or miss. Obviously, I haven't played in
a year,
9 months.
You played Plunder.
I played Plunder,
which would have been season 3 of last year. So
yeah,
9 to 10 months.
Yeah. But their marketing team is always very good.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
all that to say.
Yeah, I'll talk more about Destiny later. I did play a lot of that this week. So.
Nice.
But yeah, final shape looks good. I'm really excited. I feel like this one is a little more important to the folks at Bungie than I think Lightfall was, especially since Lightfall was kind of forced in.
Do you think does it still feel that way?
Yeah.
Knowing now what kind of final shape is, it really does feel like Lightfall, in a similar way to Shadowkeep, was like, oh shoot, this next expansion isn't ready. We need to find something.
Yeah,
to fill
we need
the gap.
a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, and just
that's unfortunate on one hand, but
and
you get a couple extra good seasons because of it. I'm not. Yeah. You're still paying for
Honestly,
it.
the seasons I think this year have been really good. I don't remember the name. The one that launched with Lightfall was fine. I thought last season was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting a lot better at making the seasonal activities. So they're really engaging on good loot. Doesn't hurt that they keep adding fun abilities into the game. I guess I'm already reviewing Destiny kind of, but
might as well get it out of the way now. Because you got to review something else later.
The problem with Lightfall was the story campaign, which is really the only reason people were so upset at them when it came out, was it was a campaign dedicated to Strand and not the story.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like if Infinity War came out, but it was only about Thor getting his new hammer instead of just that tiny section of the movie.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Can't wait.
Sweet.
Nice.
Well, there was a movie trailer that you're less excited about, but we're going to talk about it anyways, and that is Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon over at Netflix. We got not just the trailer, but the release date for part 1 and 2, which part 2 is only going to be like 4 months away. Yeah. After part 1. So
I do have questions, though, about those release dates.
Yeah.
Part 1 comes out in December. Part 2 comes out in April. Director's cut later. I'm assuming a black and white cut after that. Then I'm picturing one cut altogether in black and white.
Yeah.
In both.
Absolutely.
Then a final cut, probably. Then a docu-series about how the movie was made.
Mm-hmm.
There be anything else?
So what's your question?
They are making a video game?
They are making a video game, yes.
My question is...
When is the spin-off show happening?
My question is, when you have so many cuts that are already known, why should I care about the first cut that's coming out?
Yeah.
I want to watch the definitive version. If that version is the director's cut, why is there a part 1 cut?
Yeah.
I just think it's so stupid. And we haven't even talked about the actual trailer yet, which is fine. It's a Zack Snyder movie. Like, you look at it and you're like, yep, I've seen that. I don't understand that decision making. Mm-hmm. He went to Netflix for control. Got it. But no, we need a director's cut. I just don't understand it. It's got to be ego.
I think it's business. It's business and marketing, right? It's a look at how much talk there was online about the Justice League, and there's that fan base that exists on the internet that loves to talk about his stuff in that way, and so.
Well, guess what? If this thing is bad, he's going to incorporate the Star Wars fan base into his life. And that is so dangerous. The DC fans are really annoying. Both sides. His cult and the other side. They're everywhere. But Star Wars... Ooh. That's...
Star Wars fans, they're another breed.
That is a whole entire animal that he's getting into. And I mean, I don't know if it was smart to say, it's my own version of Star Wars, and then immediately say, pardon my language, fuck Star Wars.
Yeah.
Good job!
Bold choice. Bold choice.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just... For the sake of, like, I don't want to just spew hate for Zack Snyder, but, like, my patience with his antics and ego have really waned, like, over the years. I used to, like, you could go back to early episodes. I would defend Snyder and his movies, and at this point, I just am so annoyed by him. And I think it's just ego. But just speaking from the trailer,
yeah, because we haven't really talked about the trailer.
Look, there's some pretty stuff. I think Zack Snyder always has a good eye. That's, I think, probably his best trait.
No, I would have said that before Army of the Dead. The biggest piece of crap movie I've ever seen in my life.
But 1 out of, 7 movies?
I would agree with Tyler to a certain extent. I think that Snyder has a pretty good eye for very specific shots.
Yes, there's he has a visual thing.
I don't think he always, outside of a trailer, makes those shots look good in sequence.
No.
In a movie, but like the shot itself, pull it as a still, gorgeous.
Yeah, he has like this thing where he's like, this was really cool in storyboarding. I can put this in the movie.
Yeah.
And then he has to, right? But overall, I just think that there's just too many movies in this trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's King Arthur. There's Star Wars. There's The Chosen One. Like, there's all these different, like, trope story things in this trailer. Just, like, I showed it to Dana, and Dana was like, what is that about? Like, that was literally her first reaction. She watched the trailer, and she's like, I don't understand. And I was like, to be honest with you, like, when I watch a fair bit of movies, I don't really know what this movie's about either. I get, like, the general idea, but, like, there's so many characters in this that I don't understand why they're there. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. There's too much happening with the F Star Wars comment. It's I'm not excited for it. Like, I thought there was like a part of me that was like, man, I really hope this is good so people will shut up about DC and Zack Snyder. And the trailer comes out and I'm like, it's not going away. It is not going to go away. Because this isn't going to be good either. And they're going to incessantly defend more and more stuff.
Yeah.
And I just...
I like said earlier, it looks like a Snyder movie.
Yeah.
And I think like you don't know what it's about. It being so busy is inherently Snyder.
There's
always...
a shot early on that I'm like, is this 300?
Dude,
like,
yes.
The problem
That's
I have...
300s in this movie.
The problem
You're right.
I have with how this looks is that it just looks like all of his other films. And it's okay to have a visual style, but...
They all run together.
His visual style, I think it's just gotten... It's outlasted its welcome or something. I don't know. It could be a personal thing. I'm maybe a little tired of it. In any case, I will also want to talk about...
One more thing before you do that.
Sure.
You could piece together stills across his movie catalog, put them all together. If you select the right ones, you wouldn't be able to tell they're from all of his different movies.
Yeah.
That's not good. That is bad. That is not a good thing.
If it's all the same series,
just pick
great.
the one
Yes.
with slow-mo and an orange filter.
That's exactly. Every single movie.
I was also just disappointed in the general kind of production quality of things. Nothing looked particularly great. Like, and part of it is that I'm comparing it to Star Wars because we know what this was. We know this was his Star Wars pitch. So I'm actively looking at it, and even if it wants to be different than Star Wars, that's great. But I still think that if you're pitching this as the next great space fantasy, sci-fi fantasy, coming of age story, whatever it is, all of those things rolled into one. I think it does need to have a level of polish, and everything from like costumes of the the uniforms of the replacement empire, whatever they are. I just think they look tacky, cheap. It just doesn't do hardly anything to excite me, and that was disappointing because, kind of like Tyler, for a different reason. I could care less about... I mean, I think the discourse online is dumb, but I don't get sucked into it like Luke does.
Yeah, Luke's like forced into it by Twitter at this point.
I was a fan of the movies, his older movies, and
Twitter's like holding
Twitter's
Luke
like,
hostage.
oh, you still love this, right? It's just like, no.
But I want it to be good because I want to like the movie. I want it to be good. And it's just not giving me any good vibes, but hopefully it'll surprise me. But I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah. Dune comes out around the time Part 2 comes out. Watch that instead.
Frickin', that reminds me now that we're not getting Dune.
The movie is
until after.
Dune as well.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yup.
All of the sci-fi things.
Yeah, he literally just was like, I'm going to take every sci-fi movie and cram it into one. Who's Jesus in this movie? That's the real question.
The Griffin, obviously.
Oh, Harry Potter's in this movie? Buckbeak getting more work. Happy Buckbeak is back out there. Good job.
Buckbeak.
Did you guys have any other trailers? Look, Rebel Moon was probably a thumbs down for me, ultimately.
Yeah, it's a thumbs down.
It's hard for me to even say it was a sideways thumb. I think it's a solid thumbs down.
Yeah, it's a thumbs down. I don't think this trailer's good.
The next one's gonna have to do a lot of work.
I honestly tuned out in the trailer when there was a blurry shot, except for the tiny littlest thing in the center, which had nothing to do with the actual frame. It's like their hand in the wheat or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But it's this grain of wheat is in focus and everything else is blurry. It's just like we're doing this.
Oh, the Gladiator shot.
We're doing this again. Yeah. Oh, it's Gladiator too.
Yeah. Classic. They'll definitely fight in the Coliseum at some point. How long do we think these parts are? 3 hours apiece?
Did we
2.5?
Yeah, I bet they're 2.5.
If there is a...
Although Netflix, I mean, what was Scorsese's? What was that? Irishman was like 3 hours. So, like, it's not unheard of for Netflix to do a 3-hour movie.
That movie was a visual treat. I'm the liar.
It was Luke. He was the liar. Anyways, okay.
He says they're about 2 hours each.
Oh, maybe they'll be.
Movie 2 is under 2 hours right now.
So this
What's
was
the director's cut?
This is absolutely one movie that was then split into 2 parts.
200-page script, Snyder said.
Can't wait for that cliffhanger ending. Where the
For parts 1 and 2.
Main character dies.
Interesting. Okay.
But they lived. I do have other trailers.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, good.
Flora and Son. I just mentioned this to you guys.
Yep, I haven't seen it.
This is a tiny little indie Irish film. Just wanted to bring it up because it's John Carney, the same director who did Sing Street, which is my favorite movie. So I'm really excited for that. It's about a mom who starts taking guitar lessons, so she thinks her son is cool. Or her son thinks she's cool. And then she finds out that, like, he's in his room doing, like, music producing stuff. And they, like, kind of start this weird thing. And I think it's going to be real sweet.
Sounds awesome.
Also, I just love listening to the Irish accents. And the other one is Kelsey. It's a documentary on Prime Video about Jason Kelsey.
Oh.
I think it looks really good, especially because it's kind of like with quarterback. It takes place during the year he was in the Super Bowl, and his brother Travis is a chief, and they're super close. And the Kelsey Bowl, so I'm really excited to see
Kind of the inside scoop of it.
Yeah, and just like also his like true reaction to the Super Bowl. Because like they're gonna put on a face when you lose, be like, oh yeah, I'm really proud of my brother.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I'm upset, but like I wanna see like
how he really handled it.
How it really is when you came that close.
Yeah.
Like literally to the last second. So I think it looks really good.
I saw that this was being advertised. I haven't watched it yet, the trailer, but
I saw like a clip of Jason and Travis like gardening. It was hilarious.
Dude,
their podcast is awesome.
They're funny, man. They're a good group to listen to. They make me chuckle a lot. Yeah. I have a game trailer, but it's part of Gamescom.
Well, then save it for Gamescom.
I will save it,
sir,
for Gamescom.
Is it Gamescom or Gamescom?
Luke and I need to talk about Ahsoka. I mean,
yes, we do.
Rebels Season 5.
Yeah. Like, people keep saying that, and I don't know if they're being ironic or not. And, like, I'm like, great. This is awesome. Like, this is almost exactly what I wanted.
I feel like it's what was kind of promised, though. I don't know. Like, I don't feel misled by it.
Mm-hmm.
I got concerned early on in the second episode. I think I was a little bit like, Stephanie, because Stephanie watched the first episode, then went to bed, and she was like, you can watch the second one. I was like, is Stephanie gonna get some of this? Because there's so much that ties back to Rebels, and I think you can still enjoy it without seeing Rebels.
I think that was 100% what those first 2 episodes are about. It's
to fill you in.
Not everybody watched Rebels.
Yeah.
Because it was a TV Y7 show or something.
Right.
So we need to get people that are like watching Mandalorian
mm-hmm.
and the new movies. We need to get them caught up. So it's like, hey, here's Ahsoka. This is what she's kind of been up to. Here's like her troop, her friends. Like you meet Sabine. They show the mural and you kind of learn what happened with Ezra, mention Thrawn, and it's like connecting the dots of the lady that fights Ahsoka in the Mandalorian episode, and connecting that kind of to Rebels and Ahsoka, and then it kind of takes off. And I think it
definitely by the end of the second episode, I was like, okay, I feel like we're getting into our own adventure here.
Yeah, like
so I'll be
into the next thing.
So I'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
Stephanie said she understood the first episode perfectly, and she was just tired. It's
like
not like she lost interest. She didn't want to watch the second one. She just was like, I'm kind of sleepy.
Like the second episode is Ahsoka and Hera go off to do a thing, and it's like, this is who Hera is. You meet Chopper. Oh yeah, Chopper. Freaking love Chopper. Best droid in Star Wars.
I think he has more confirmed kills than Anakin Skywalker.
Maybe, dude. He's a problem. If he got like control of like a Death Star, Empire wouldn't stand a chance.
Look out.
But no,
Droid sounds like he's my friend.
Yeah, really.
You'll love him.
Can't wait.
Especially if you'd watch Rebels, you'd be like,
oh my gosh.
just give me a Chopper episode. But yeah, it felt like Rebels, and I was just really happy about that. Something I was actually really happy to see too.
Chopper looks dope.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
he's freaking awesome. One of the best characters in Star Wars.
He's in Bad Batch too.
Yes. I don't remember. Bad Batch is okay.
Sorry, I'm distracting you. I apologize.
Something I was a little nervous about, just something I'm nervous with any Disney Plus show at this point now, is how are they using the volume?
Mm-hmm.
And while it's still noticeable, I feel like it was just so much better in this show. There's still the moments where you're like, that's a volume.
Yeah.
But at least it wasn't like I'm like in the
It's-
what was that show we talked about last week?
Better than Boba Fett. Better than most of Mando season 3.
Yeah.
Not as good. I mean, obviously, as something like Andor, which went out and shot in practical
In a field.
locations, right? So
Yeah. And like they do that in this too. It's like, oh, we're in a ship
yeah,
or a lab or something. But like I mentioned last week, they're tilting the camera up so they don't have to show the floor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that. Like there's stuff on the ground. So just like kind of getting that right away, I was just like, okay, I think we're gonna do a little better with the volume here.
Yeah.
Volume is like a trigger for me.
Remember when we thought it was cool? We're like, oh man, this is really neat. I can't wait to see how they use it. And then they didn't use it in a neat way. We were like, oh no.
I've been watching. Sorry, quick aside. I've been listening to Team Deacon's podcast, and Greg Fraser, who's the cinematographer on the Batman.
Oh, gotta listen to that one now.
So he was actually working with ILM on developing the volume back in 2015.
Oh.
I don't know about
That's
how
cool.
far back
That's why
that
he knew
went,
how to use it.
but yeah, he talked about how they used it in the Batman. It was very intentional.
Mm-hmm. It's the sunset on the rooftop is most of that,
Yeah,
and I think the car too.
and there's
maybe.
more. Yeah, there's some other stuff in there inside the car vehicles.
Because I mean, it's old. It's new school rear projection is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
So it works really good for like a car, and I think he even said like it works best at sunrise or sunset or dusk or dawn. Maybe is what he said.
Mm.
It's like why the Batman looked so good.
Yep.
But I thought they have much improved. They didn't get lazy with it in Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
Still can do better, but
I just want to call out 2 performances that I've very much enjoyed thus far than I was concerned about, which is Ray Stevenson and Ivana Sakino.
the bad guys.
The bad guys. The Sith.
They-
They're great.
Sith. Whoa. Dark Jedi. Now.
They're Dark Jedi. Okay, fine.
Whoa. They don't got the yellow eyes. Their lightsabers are orange.
They're
Which is
Sith.
very intentional. They're not Sith. I also really liked the line Ray Stevenson had, which is like, man, it's a shame if we have to kill her. There's just not a lot of us left.
Yeah.
It's like, I sense a disturbance at the Force. They're still good at him. But yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried about just, I don't know, villains in general. You're like, what is?
Yeah, and I
What's
think
a bad guy gonna be until we get to Thrawn?
We could still get Thrawn could be
Have
less
you met
interesting.
Thrawn yet through the first 2 episodes?
No.
Okay.
Thrawn could be less interesting, and I worry a little bit about Morgan Els,
The girl? The lady?
the doormat. No, where is she from?
Dathomir?
Dathomir, the
Night-
Dathomir,
she's a Night
Night
Sister.
Sister gal. I'm
That-
a little worried about her just because like she does kind of have those like I'm the bad guy vibes.
Dude, that was a reveal that,
But the
Was
reveal was
so
cool.
cool.
It was cool.
and it even
Sorry to
make,
spoil that.
No, that's fine.
You don't know who they are.
I'm like half listening, so.
it's. I just thought like, that makes so much sense because she 1v1'd Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And she's just a person in that. It's like, okay, this is a cool fight, whatever. It's like, oh no, she's an evil witch.
Yeah.
Who knows magic.
Yeah.
So I really liked that reveal. Thought that was really cool. Plus, Night Sisters are so freaking cool to watch. I hope she goes full on magic mode. you guys haven't played Jedi Survivor.
Played some.
So you have, like, no idea, really, what they can do. Oh, my gosh. There's a sequence in that game that's where Marin just, like, pops off. Awesome.
I'm really interested to see. Sorry, looking forward. I'm here on the Wikipedia page for Ahsoka, and I'm looking at the episodes. Episode 1, directed by Dave Filoni. 2 and 3, Steph Green. 4, Peter Ramsey. 5 is Dave Filoni's other one that he directed. But I'm kind of surprised he didn't do either the penultimate or the finale. I'm kind of surprised he just did the 2. But
he wrote them.
He did write them all.
Correct?
He is the writer.
Yeah.
Credited main writer at least. So
I really like what they're doing with Sabine, kind of expanding the training she's had. I think it's interesting too, like the relationship she and Ahsoka have. Because it kind of even goes back to when she was training with Kanan in Rebels.
Yeah.
Where, you know what, she is not a very good student. Because, like, even in the episode, they're like, it's because she's Mandalorian and they're just hardwired to do something a different way.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see where that goes. Another huge pro I have is, what's his name? Kevin Kiner does the music.
Oh, yeah.
He does the music for Clone Wars. He did it for Rebels, and he's doing this. I think he does such good Star Wars music. I wish they would use it more.
Maybe, I mean, if this...
Him and whoever did it for the games, they're great.
He's probably going to... I mean, he's had a close relationship with Dave. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes on to do the... What is the film that Filoni's on?
The Mando Endgame?
Yeah, the Mando Endgame.
Rebels Endgame?
Whatever it's called. Yeah. No, I agree. Good music, good score. It's been written pretty well. Like you talked about, 1 and 2 very much feel like a recap. I think we'll get a good sense of how the writing is probably over the next 2 or 3 episodes. I mean, in terms of, like, we're telling a new story and it's not a... I mean, my hope is it's not like... I don't know if Filoni's gotten better since Clone Wars, but here's the lesson of the week, kind of...
The kid show vibe?
The kid show vibe. I don't think we're going to get that, but...
There's also TV-14.
Is it really?
Yeah, which I think the only other one was Andor, maybe, that did that. I don't even know if Mando was like that. I can't remember. Maybe it was.
Either.
Shooting people in the face and stuff, so it's probably 14.
Right.
But I thought the action looked good.
Yeah.
It was nice to have a little lightsaber duel. I'm really intrigued about Rock, the Inquisitor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In the second episode, yeah, they were...
Who can he be?
They were good. Who is he? I love his armor, though, or their armor.
Dude, Inquisitors look so cool.
They have the best armor.
Yeah. They're little spinny lightsabers. It's always the best. Like, what is it in Rebels when they, like, go to the underground pyramid or whatever and they, like, helicopter? It's like, I don't know if that would work, but I'm cool with it.
It's fine. So clearly, Luke and I are both pretty excited about it. It had a good first showing.
It feels a lot closer. It's not better than Andor, but it feels closer to Andor than Mando.
Absolutely.
At least in quality.
Yeah.
Tone? No, not really, but quality.
Yeah, and knowing that it connects to a little bit of the bigger Star Wars universe in a way that Mando kind of...
You think I don't care? Best Star Wars character.
Best Star Wars character. Mando got there, right? Mando was definitely this experimental thing where it was like, we're going to go tell our own story, and then... Okay, in season 2, let's connect all the dots.
Yeah,
and it feels that felt forced. Ahsoka doesn't feel that way. There's these characters that have just naturally existed for years now that they're just getting to expand their stories on. And even if you come in with fresh eyes, I think you'll see and they'll feel like real characters versus we're just trying to get some tie-in to a thing over here.
We need to set up the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much this
Does
sets
set up a movie.
A movie, right? Like, I think it probably will. Hopefully, it tells its own really good story at the same time. So,
I'm really excited for the next episode.
we're not going to be doing a week-to-week, like...
It came out 7 days ago.
That's the problem. Like, it comes out on Tuesday nights. We do our show on Monday nights, and I can't keep that in my head. So we may mention it every week just during the show at some point, but there won't be a dedicated TV Talk episode for Ahsoka.
This had a little more dedication because none of us saw anything really.
Yeah. And there were 2 episodes, and so, yeah. And Tyler didn't watch it.
I didn't.
But now you will.
I've had a chaotic...
talked positively about it, right?
Weekend. Yeah. Oh, you guys did a good job.
Okay.
I was sick.
The thing that Tyler did do more than us was watch Gamescom.
I did.
And I'll let you kind of lead this discussion.
You watched 100% more than I did.
You got to be quiet for the last.
No, I kind of kept up
10
with some of the Gamescom stuff. I think the big thing is stop being jerks, people. Stop running on stage and making scenes. It's really stupid. People came on and started yelling about Grand Theft Auto 6 and how they won it and all this stuff. And it's like, dude.
Like, you know what Rockstar should do?
Cancel it? No. Like fake cancel it?
They should fake delay it. Just be like, due to the person running on stage at this time, we've decided to delay Grand Theft Auto 6 inevitably.
That'd be great. I would love that.
And then in a year or two, be like, oh, here's Grand Theft Auto 6.
Shadow drop, one of the biggest games of all time.
Boom! It's on the Xbox Marketplace or the PlayStation Market Store.
That'd be sweet. But I think there's 2 big things.
Dude, they would crash this server.
Oh, for sure. From Gamescom Opening Night Live is what they called it, I believe. The first thing is... Sorry, excuse me. Hiccuping here. Starfield, Todd Howard came out, did a little discussion about how, the game's almost here. We're really excited for you guys to play it. They feel really good about it. They're super pumped. And then they went on to do, Pete Hines went on and did a bunch of interviews. Todd did some interviews. Phil did some interviews. And they were just talking Starfield. And I think my biggest takeaway is that Xbox hasn't had buzz like this in a long time.
Yeah.
We've seen even...
maybe they had to buy that buzz, but at the...
Oh, we forgot to take bets, dang it!
At the end of the day, they have the buzz now.
They have the buzz, right? Like, we've seen some clips from Amazon, like the sales are up 1,000% on Xbox Series X's right now. Like, there's real buzz, like, about Starfield in a positive way, and Xbox hasn't had this in a long time.
Yep.
And it feels like you look at kind of the catalog of what Xbox has in the pipeline right now, and it feels like this is the dam is bursting open, and Starfield's what blows it up, right? Yeah. And then you have Forza, and then you have Fable, and you have Avowed, and they just have games lined up for the next year and a half. Where historically, they've really not had anything like this, and so Starfield really feels like the tipping point for Xbox, and I'm glad that the buzz is positive.
Yep.
Reviewers obviously can't talk about it, but you can kind of get a feel for how people feel about this game, just based on the amount of I am playing Starfield tweets that people are putting out. Like, people really badly want to talk about it, and the embargo lifts very soon, so that's coming. The other thing, and last thing, we're all super excited for Starfield.
Yeah.
I think all of us have the premium edition.
We've all got it pre-ordered and ready to go.
It's downloaded. We're ready to rock.
I'll be streaming it at least some. So here on the What the Fanboy Twitch channel. So
if we can find a way.
I haven't decided how I'm gonna play yet. I'm thinking about just doing an off the wall kind of weird.
There's only one trait I know for sure I'm picking.
Oh yeah.
The boost pack thing. I'm getting the boost pack so I can fly around. That is like my must. Everything else is subject to change.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Probably pick some sort of weapons expert too, just so I don't get wrecked.
I'm gonna have to do like
I'll play a loyal good.
Oh, I'll be a good dude for sure. But no, we're all excited for that. The other game that I think not all of us, I think Luke and I are probably more excited. I wouldn't say I'm like freaking out about it, but Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
You're probably more intrigued by it than excited, right?
Depending on my play schedule for everything that's coming out.
Yeah.
I will try it.
Yeah, they finally showed some gameplay of Alan Wake, like not this other character. I think the gameplay looks great. Graphically, this game looks incredible. But I think the big takeaway is they were talking about how they're using a mix of live action and video game graphics. And they were kind of talking about it like it was a touching point, and I was like, they did that already. Like Control does it.
Yeah.
Like pretty.
I thought that was a Remedy thing.
It is at this point, right? They started it with Quantum Break, I think.
Yeah.
And then they've done it with Control. Now they're gonna do it with this. And like when you hear it, I guess this is my PSA. When you hear it, you're like, oh, that's weird. But when you play Control, you're like, this works really well. Like I think the way they use it in Control is incredible. Like it absolutely blows me away. So yeah, that was really good. I'm excited about Alan Wake. Remedy, good developer.
Yeah.
Their game will be buggy, but it'll be good. Their story stuff is always strong.
What would be buggier, Starfield or Alan Wake 2?
I think Alan Wake 2, based on like early reports. The other thing, and this was kind of I think a concern for a lot of people, Baldur's Gate 3 is coming to Xbox in 2023. There was a lot of talk that maybe it would slip into next year, but they what's the studio called? Larian came out and said that it will be there on Xbox Series X and S. The Series S will not have the split screen co-op feature at launch. I think that was the inevitable conclusion to this whole saga.
Yep.
And I'm glad that Xbox found a way to get it done. I know that I'd heard from the Kind of Funny guys that Xbox had sent their internal development team to Larian and said, hey, we're going to figure this thing out. Sounds like they couldn't find a solution, so they went with this option. And there's a lot of
sounds like a skill issue.
There was a lot of buzz like, console parity, Xbox is lying, blah 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 blah. Console wars and all that stuff. The internet hasn't said a word about it because they don't care. They just want to play Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
And so they're getting their wish.
That's me.
So good for Xbox, good for Larian.
But why does it come out on the same day as Starfield?
Yeah, that's brutal. But that's exciting. I'll probably wait on Baldur's
pop
Gate.
Off on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because they don't have Starfield.
Yeah, it will. For sure. The last thing I'll talk about, oh my goodness, the Orioles are killing it. The last thing I'll talk about is there's some trailers, but there's one in particular I kind of wanted to talk about, and that's Crimson Desert.
Yeah.
Have you seen this trailer? Okay, so Brett and I watched it before the show. And I'm not talking about this trailer because, hold on, let us describe it first, and then you decide if you want to watch it. So I'm not talking about this trailer from a sense of, oh my gosh, I can't wait to play this game. I'm talking about this trailer in the sense that, oh my gosh, what is this game?
Yeah.
This has so much stuff in it. Like, it has petting dogs, carrying animals, transfiguration. Looks like
magic system,
sword
arm
fighting,
wrestling, fishing,
flying.
I'm gonna watch it.
Drifting horses.
Yeah,
drifting.
You can drift your horse. Pole vaulting.
Mm-hmm.
Pole vaulting is in this.
Building destruction.
Yes, destructible environments.
Sword fighting, clearly.
Yeah, sword fighting.
Tears of the Kingdom-esque floating land masses in the sky that you can skydive off of.
Teleporting through portals to get through things.
Yep.
Sacrificing your horse.
Yeah, apparently.
That's a thing. This game looks insane. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
And the trailer doesn't give you anything to go off of.
Is this the right trailer?
It
yes,
really does.
This is it. It's
really
insane.
does just feel like
it just gets increasingly crazy.
A sandbox, right? It's like the trailer gave you nothing of like, here's the story.
Yeah, there's no substance.
Which maybe there isn't much. Maybe it's literally a like, hey, you get to decide what kind of world you want to live in. You want it to be, go.
Dude, that sheep is cute.
Wreak havoc or be kind. I don't know. Like,
yeah, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
It was very interesting. Yeah.
But
is it going to be good?
No idea.
No idea.
Idea.
Some small things too that we got off the grid. Neil Blomkamp's Battle Royale game.
Interesting trailer.
What?
Definitely.
Yeah, he's making a Battle Royale.
Felt like it was geared towards streamers.
Cool, another Battle Royale. Who cares?
Yeah, it's a weird time to release one of those.
Has Halo's Battle Royale came out yet?
Nope,
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if it gets shelved.
Just like split screen couch co-op.
Yeah, that
Sad day.
it was
Another false
interesting.
promise. No.
I mean, at this point, yeah, no, you're right.
We did get a shadow drop, which was cool for Age of Empires 4 on Game Pass. That was pretty awesome.
Dude, you can climb trees in this game.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Oh, bushwhacking. Yeah, you can bushwhack, climb trees.
It's an automatic buy if I can climb a tree.
Dude, it looks just absolutely insane.
Day one, I'm there.
I really hope.
A bit of news that came out of, I think it came out of Gamescom. It's that with the new Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, there was a new trailer. And
Dude, that was my reaction watching this trailer. I was just like, what is this?
oh my gosh.
His horse just launched him off a cliff. Horse is dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, there's your Breath of the Wild stuff.
But I think it's really cool. Phantom Liberty's coming with a lot of updates to the game, but not just to this expansion. Also, kind of retroactively, if you just own Cyberpunk 2077 and you don't want to buy the new expansion, you're going to get a lot of, well, you know, kind of what they're dubbing like Cyberpunk 2.0, quality of life improvements and things like that. So I thought that was a really cool announcement.
We got the live action Starfield trailer.
Dude, sorry, back to Cyberpunk. The revival that game had is so awesome because it deserves it. It's such a good game. Was not even that bad on release.
Yeah.
And people just kind of overreacted when consoles from 10 years ago didn't run it well.
No.
So I'm really, really glad that game is like really starting to connect with people. And I did see the updates to it. It looks like a new game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks totally different.
It looks awesome. I'm actually really excited to play Phantom Liberty. That will be a DLC I get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks big.
Yeah.
It looks like a big expansion, which is kind of CD Projekt Red's thing. But yeah, no, I thought that was cool. We got a couple little announcements. I guess I'd want to hit the First Descendant. This game looks interesting. It's a looter shooter RPG.
It's a Destiny killer.
It's an attempt at that, so I'll probably pass on it. But I do think it looks kind of cool.
Free.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
Officially free to play? Yeah, I'll probably pass on it still, just from a time perspective. We got the first Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 gameplay. Looks like Modern Warfare 2.
Of course.
So, but they're gonna toy with open world missions, like more freedom. Gears of War did it, or Gears 5 did it.
Like a patrol zone with
Kind of.
bounties and
I think so. I think that's what they're going for. We got some story stuff and gameplay from Mortal Kombat. We got the next Diablo 4 season announcement, Season of Blood, which is vampire focused. Kind of early to be announcing that, I feel like.
Yeah.
But Season 1 has been a disaster for them. But yeah, Gamescom was cool. I think, Gamescom is the biggest gaming convention of the year now. I thought the production was good. I thought Opening Night Live was good. Jeff Keighley does great.
E3 rises from the dead.
Yeah, that'll never happen. But Keighley does a good job. He always does a good job engaging his guests, and I think we'll keep this Jeff Keighley guy around.
Oh, yes, for sure, for sure. Overall, what do you? I mean, like, good Gamescom.
Yeah, I'd give it a thumbs up. I thought it was
like,
good.
just okay.
The best Gamescom I've ever watched.
I don't think there was Gamescom isn't one where they're gonna announce a bunch of things.
Yeah.
As much as it's hey, let us show you what we've
Right,
already
right.
talked about. And I think what they showed for most things was really good. Obviously, Starfield didn't show much, but they're 10 days away from release at that point. So why would they?
Yeah.
Dude, no playable Starfield at Gamescom.
You know what's so crazy about that whole thing, that whole debacle, is that Bethesda's never had a playable demo at Gamescom.
Really?
Todd Howard had never even been before. This was the first one he ever went to. He was like, yeah, we were launching a new franchise, so I figured I'd show up. He's like, I don't ever come to this
We're
thing.
launching a new franchise. So I figured I'd show up.
Yeah.
I looked nervous.
Yeah. He did talk a little bit about
guy.
Elder Scrolls 6 and how he really wishes they'd announced it differently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How so? I didn't see that.
He was doing an interview and they just kind of asked him, like, do you wish...
Probably wishes he wouldn't have announced it at all.
Yeah. That's kind of what he was getting at. He's like, they're like, do you wish... He's like, I would have probably done it a little. What was the word he used? A little more casually, I think.
Probably just
like
we're working on it,
like a tweet or something,
yeah.
instead of like an announcement thing at a big event.
Right.
Like it was interesting. You
just wait for somebody to ask him about it and be like, yeah, of course we're working on it, but it's forever away.
Yeah. He said like he's excited about it. He's really looking forward to it. He said they asked him like, what's the code name, and he's like, not telling you. He like he won't say anything about it. He's like, do you guys like to say the code name? And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, what is it? And he's like, not telling you. Like he was very tight-lipped about it. But no, if you really want to get some cool stuff, go watch all the Bethesda guys discuss Starfield, Elder Scrolls, all that stuff. We also got the announcement of the Fallout TV show.
Oh yeah,
coming out next year, taking place in LA.
I was in LA.
That is the Peripheral team, Jonathan Nolan and his folks.
Up there. They've
They
got lots more time to work on it now.
So Gamescom was cool. It's a very different kind of show. It's not like flashy. It's not like a flashy show, but it's always got some good information. So, I enjoyed it.
Cool. All right, let's move on to some other news. Over in the streaming world, Disney's canceling more things.
Nice.
To no one's surprise. It's kind of a trend set last year with like Batgirl, of something that's practically done. I mean, maybe look, if you're an artist, you know that nothing's ever done, right? And until someone rips it away from your hands. But the Spider-Man Chronicles and Nautilus, which was a UK series, both were essentially scrapped and will be probably put up for if someone wants to buy them.
For bid.
Yeah. They'll be able to take a tax write-off if no one buys them. Otherwise, I think they get,
I really wish the Peripheral would have gotten that treatment.
Someone, yeah.
So could.
I hope it does. I was talking to Dana about this last night because she likes that show too. Sorry, sidebar. And we were talking about like which streamer would be the best for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be Hulu. FX, Hulu, like that
any
stuff.
of them would be.
Well, yeah, but I think it fits.
Peacock.
I think it fits best within like Hulu's kind of. They have some of the weird stuff like Legion.
Yeah.
Devs, like they have some of those weird kind of sci-fi type shows.
Yeah. And I
think
they could also scale that show in a way that brings down the budget.
Yeah.
To make it more feasible.
Yeah.
Because my guess is over at Amazon it was just too expensive.
I wonder if it was.
And it had big scope, but it wasn't a show that needed to probably be as expensive as it was.
Probably not.
Assuming
it was expensive.
They do some cool stuff, but with the
$5
had a budget of around $175 million.
Yeah, see, I think that's way too high for one season.
How many episodes was it?
Way too high. We're at that tipping point though, I think, in the next 3 years.
Some studio had to go, why are we spending so much money?
That's $22 million an
No,
episode.
they don't want to. They don't want to acknowledge that because you know where they're spending all that money?
Into their
Gotta pay the producers.
Oh, that's right.
Gotta pay those 15 different producers.
Yachts and private jets and secondary mansions.
Inflation affects the rich too.
Dude, those are expensive. They can't afford those things unless they earn 99% of revenue from anything they release.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. They need those things. Rich people need a lot more stuff. If they don't get exactly what they want, they'll throw a little fit. It's like listening to a baby cry forever and ever. And I hate children, so
might as well
just give them what they want, right?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
That's how it works?
Exactly. I think that's how it works.
Sorry, carry on. I didn't mean to distract us.
No,
I like
fine.
your kid.
It's fine.
I don't
Appreciate that.
Kind of on the same tangent, there had been talks during the strike with now I can't remember the acronyms.
AMTMP
And the Writers
ATTMP?
Guild. But those came to a big nothing burger. So the strike continues.
Did you look at that graph I sent you?
I did. The
how much cost would it
Cost
actually
of
be
revenue.
to give what they're asking for based on their...
the highest is Disney. Oh no, the highest is Paramount Global at 0.143%.
It's just too much money.
Of their revenue for the writers.
That's just too much.
For the writers' proposals.
Unacceptable.
Freaking Apple and Amazon's is hilarious. 0.006%. 0.006 of 1%
of their revenue. Yeah.
They're asking. It would take Amazon $31 million to like pay everything that they're asking for.
That's what they make in like a minute.
They make $514 billion annually. Man, that's just not enough. They need to get more money, I guess. That is so much money.
Maybe I should do my due
ridiculous.
diligence and buy a few things on Amazon this week to help them out.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm sure they need it.
Those just poor rich people.
I'll buy one of the $1.99 movie rentals because that's about the same percentage of my income as what it would be for them. So.
Yep.
Actually, it would be more percentage of my income to rent that movie than that. That's insane, man. Insane.
Oh, Apple is 0.004. God.
Unreal, man.
Insane. Luke, Tyler, you guys have any other news stories? It was a pretty slow news week, but other than Gamescom.
Warner Brothers delayed a couple movies.
Oh yeah, Dune Part 2.
Dune was delayed to March 15th. Godzilla Kong: The New Empire was shifted to April 12th. And the animated Lord of the Rings film was moved to December of 2024. So, honestly, I'm just mostly bummed about Dune.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
That's what happens with strikes.
Yeah, that's part of it.
There are business decisions behind that. There are selfish decisions behind that. There are logistical decisions behind it. It's just, it comes with the territory.
Yep. And then the next day, they released a magazine all about Dune from Empire.
Yeah. And then I have one more news story. Luke, do you have any others?
I have two sad stories.
Yeah, I do too. I'll go first. Arlene Sorkin.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The original voice of Harley Quinn and inspiration for the character. Passed away this weekend at 67 years old. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
Conroy, now Sorkin.
She's the best Harley. She always will be.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of actresses have replicated her voice, and they've done well. But man, Arlene.
Yeah. Nobody will ever nail it like she did.
Mm-hmm.
So, huge bummer there.
Yep. We also lost Bob Barker.
Yeah.
We did.
He was 99 years old, and I don't know if you guys saw like the joke going around.
I did, and it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
He died at 99, so he got as high as you can without going over $1.
Yep.
Just like
in the most price.
What a freaking legend!
Such a legend. Yeah.
And I kept seeing his scene from Happy Gilmore pop up on Twitter too.
Mm-hmm.
So good. So good. And like I think, as sad as it is, like to think about these things, it's also important to remember like the good memories that these people created for you.
Yep.
And Bob Barker provided countless good memories. Arlene Sorkin did the same for so many people.
Dude,
which is always great.
Whenever I was sick and stayed home from school, Price is Right, baby.
Dude,
oh yeah,
it was on.
I got home from school, and while I did my homework, it was always on. Like it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my favorite things.
You're just like, man, this is the coolest show ever. Bid $1. Bid $1.
I would always be like, I don't know how this show works, but I'm doing my homework, and it makes cool sounds. And people are excited.
I just remember seeing people would bid $1, and they'd win, and I'd just be like, just do that, and then maybe you win something.
Yeah.
It requires no thought. Yeah. Well, I guess there is the games too. But...
yeah, but generally speaking, the dollar could win you more often than not. So, nope, that's all my news.
Okay. Then we will go over to the Fanbox. We've got a couple questions before we talk about what we did this week. Our first Fanbox question is from Trevor, and Trevor asked this a couple weeks ago, so I apologize, Trevor, on not getting this in on The Last Voyage of the Demeter episode. But Trevor asks, were you wanting any more than just Bat Monster Dracula in The Last Voyage of the Demeter? Even in the end, his face is still just so monster-like.
I mean, I obviously wanted Dracula to team up with Werewolf and Frankenstein in the post-credit scene, but it wasn't there. I didn't see the movie.
I think looking back to the review, that was kind of one of the things I didn't like about the tacked on scene in the end.
Sure.
Is that like you get the classic Dracula look, but it's still a monster.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, I don't know. I think for what this movie is, it's fine.
I would agree.
I think if we were really trying to do Dracula, I think you have to do what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But for what The Last Voyage of the Demeter is, I don't think you need it. I don't think it impacts the movie one way or the other. It is kind of my complaint about that tacked on scene, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
If he's going to be walking around, like, everybody notices that he doesn't look right. So I get I understand why the question's asked.
Yeah. I agree. I think there is maybe a version of this movie where Dracula is a little more like classic Dracula on the ship.
Yeah.
And we understand the kind of the inner workings of why he's doing things the way he's doing. And in that case, I do think, especially by the end, he needs to be that Dracula we really remember. Mm-hmm. But this was much more of a monster movie. I think therefore I think it was fine, and the little homage at the end, it worked for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh, like so much like a bat still.
Yeah. I think what's important about about making him the monster versus, the humanish thing that he is that you avoid the trope of like, oh, he's one of the people on the ship and he's among us and he's, we're getting picked off, and like that's not the mystery. The mystery is like, why is he doing this and what is it? And then once they figure that out, it's like, okay, how do we survive?
Yep.
Which I think is important.
Yeah.
To what they were trying to do from a movie standpoint.
Baroque and Roller in the chat, why didn't they open any more crates after finding a lady in a crate? Excellent point.
That is an excellent question.
And one that I think I even mentioned that in our review. I was like, they had 50 crates and they just left 48 of them be? Like, I feel like we could
Dang, they found a girl in the second one?
The first one.
The first one.
It like falls off the thing and it breaks and she's in that one.
She's in the pile of dirt.
Yeah.
Did they steal that from Pirates of the Caribbean 2? The jar of dirt?
Box of dirt? Probably.
Wow, is this even an original story? No.
No, that's a great point, Baroque, and it's a great question, Trevor. Thank you for asking that. Okay, next question. Question number 2. Stephanie asks, if you could sneak into the set of a show or movie, what would it be? Once there, what would you try and steal from the set? And would you get caught?
Would I 100% get caught?
Yeah, I would get caught.
Doesn't matter where I'm trying to get into.
I would sneak onto a little bit of recency bias here. I would sneak onto the set of Dune and steal a still suit. I think they look awesome.
Yeah.
Things are so cool.
I'm breaking into the Dune set, but I'm stealing the worm. We're just riding that. It was real, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm riding that worm out of there. I'll get caught, but they ain't.
They'll
see me, but they ain't catching me.
Not an ornithopter?
I am going to.
No, I want the worm.
I'm going to sneak into Dune and get one of the knives.
Oh, okay. The Fremen knives?
Yeah, and I think I could get away with that. Because they got that into the capital city undetected, so.
True.
I'm breaking onto the Interstellar set, and I'm stealing TARS. But
TARS
it
is great.
has to be a working one.
A functional TARS.
Yeah. It was a practical effect.
I like it.
It clearly works.
I like it.
Either
I'm going on the set of Oppenheimer and stealing the atom
nuke?
bomb. Like, what are you doing?
I'm breaking onto the Barbie set.
Oh no!
Breaking onto the Barbie set, and I'm stealing Ryan Gosling.
Stealing Ken?
No, Ryan Gosling.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
Love it.
I'd steal Ahsoka's white lightsabers. I think that'd be super cool. That'd be an awesome prop to have as a legit answer.
The Batman and the guns that shape his.
Oh, his.
Just take it out of his chest piece.
You're gonna take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like superhero
cool.
stuff. I would want like the flash ring. I think the flash ring would be really cool.
Breaking into the Harry Potter set and stealing a crate of Butterbeard.
I love it. Breaking into the Top Gun set and stealing a jet.
Nice.
Breaking into the Lord of the Rings set and stealing anything I can find. The One Ring, the Elven rings, the Dwarven rings, all the swords, Sauron's eye.
Yeah. A script.
The miniature of the towers.
Honestly,
dude, that'd actually be super cool.
Any set that I got on, if there was like just a script laying around.
Yeah.
Ooh, what is
Don't mind
this?
me.
You're like taking pictures of it. You're like.
Hold on, if you're breaking onto the Flash set, which set? Shot that movie like 4 times.
Yeah, that's true. Whichever one had the flash ring on it.
If you break onto the Justice League set, are you breaking into the Snyder set or the Whedon set?
I don't want to break into Snyder's garage, so
I'm gonna
preferably not that one.
break into the Batgirl set and just steal the whole movie.
There you go.
Actually release it.
So you can see it. Steal the Blue Beetle suit. Be fun.
Dude, practical suits though.
Yeah. Actually, the Infinity War suit, so I can steal the Thanos ginormous CG model thing that they make Brolin wear. Because it looks
the giant purple head.
yeah, it just looks ridiculous. I want to steal that. Then I could play real life Fall Guys and run around with it on.
Sneak onto the Jurassic Park set and walk out of there with that animatronic T-Rex.
There you go. I'm sure you could definitely carry it.
Yeah.
It's not very heavy.
I'm gonna ride it. Are you kidding me?
There you go. You're gonna like
It's not a noise
pay somebody
T-Rex
off
noise.
to control it for you.
Yeah, man.
Love it.
Absolutely.
I think my best answer was actually the Lord of the Rings. Steal the miniature of the tower.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Or Minas Tirith.
Yeah,
I think
good.
actually that final answer.
Yeah, I would want the still suit from Dune. I think that'd be sick.
I don't know if I have a final answer. I love too many things.
That's fair.
Too many things.
Indiana
from too many
Jones's
movies.
whip and hat.
Break onto the set and steal one of their careers. One of the writers' careers. Be like, this is my job now.
Just like
I'm the
shank him.
captain now.
There you go.
They're just like, oh.
Break onto the Captain Phillips set and steal
No.
Tom Hanks.
Break onto Jurassic Park and just steal Steven Spielberg's career. Be like, I'm Steven Spielberg now. I'm gonna make all your movies. Be like, oh shucks.
He's like, okay, I guess.
Oh. I'm stealing an LAAT from the Attack of the Clones set. Nice, Baroque. Yeah.
Well,
Dude, we didn't even mention like Star Wars stuff, did we? Like a lightsaber would be cool.
I
But
said,
like, you
I
can-
said Ahsoka's lightsaber.
You did say Ahsoka.
The white ones.
Like lightsabers, though, I feel like that's. I know they're different, being the actual props, but
you can make them.
You can get those. You can go to Galaxy's Edge, and that's still pretty high end. But
Oh, I'd put that thing in a glass box though. Nobody had ever touched it.
right there,
Ahsoka.
little do you know, I
Best
would
Star
I
Wars
would
character.
come over and every day I would just add one fingerprint to it.
Oh, well, that's weird because I'd probably kill you.
With those same lightsabers.
No, I'm
Love
not
it.
touching them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Use my
can't do that.
fists.
Good question, Stephanie. Thank you for that. This next question is from our very own Tyler.
Hey!
Thank you for submitting a question, Tyler. I assume this has to be related to the fact that we talked about Gamescom this week. What is one gaming feature that you think is super overrated but is always a selling point? So this is something that's like always in the marketing.
Yeah, they always market
in the hype
it.
trailers. But
I can
it's
answer
overrated.
mine first, too, just to give you guys my example.
Yeah.
For me, it's day-night cycles. Like, every game that has one, they're like, oh, we got a real-time day-night cycle, and, you know, we use this tech for this thing. And, like, not enough games use that to differentiate the gameplay.
Yeah.
To make it feel valuable to me. Like, Octopath Traveler 2 did it, and I thought it was cool. But after a while, you're kind of just like, yeah, whatever. All right. Because I can change it whenever I want, which is why it's good.
Yeah.
The biggest issue I have with it is in games like Red Dead 2 or any other game, it just gives you another loading screen to sit through. Because, like, you can't start this mission till nighttime. You need to come back between these hours, and GTA and, like, all these games are like, we got this cool day-night cycle. I'm like, yeah, cool. It's going to be mostly inconvenient for me.
Yeah.
And make the world look a little bit different at times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or in multiplayer games, are like, this map, but at night. And I'm like, that is not that cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such an overrated feature in games to me.
Whoa, I can't see anymore.
Yeah. Oh no, now I have to use night vision and it changes the way I hold my gun. Thanks, I hate this.
Oh, cool, the HDR on my TV broke the game.
Yeah, or yeah, if your TV's not good enough to handle like dark spots, you get like little squares and you're like, this is stupid.
Do I get night vision goggles? No, you don't.
You just can't see. It's like, sweet, this is terrible. So that's mine.
I love it.
Day-night cycles.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know if this is I don't know how big it is with advertising. It might be pretty big. I feel like it's more community driven and it's frames.
No,
FPS?
that has become more and more like a part of marketing.
It's like, great, your game can run up to 60 frames, but most of the time it runs like crap. PC, big deal. Console, I really think they need to cool their jets on how much of an impact that is for a game.
Yeah.
Because like it was such a big deal with Starfield, like it's locked at 30 frames. Great.
Yep.
We got a new lighting rig. It's gonna look beautiful.
Yep.
And it's running how it's supposed to. Whereas like Jedi Survivor, beautiful game, but a lot of times it'll do this because it's trying to up those frames and it can't really do that in this part of the game because there's too much lighting going on.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, there's too much upscaling.
Like I do like how Bethesda was like, we focus on our lighting. Frames are important, but lighting more important.
They also use the 30 frames for like pop in. Like when you try to sacrifice rendering for frames, you end up with like pop in and it breaks your immersion and like Starfield's a game that's aiming for immersiveness.
Yeah.
Not
like you're
not
watching
graphic.
a cutscene and there's just like a rock formation there and somebody's talking, all of a sudden poof, waterfall. And it's like,
Oh
Yeah.
my.
And it,
waterfall just started.
Yeah, and it like breaks the immersion. So I think that's a good answer. Frames is way overrated.
Yeah.
As a marketing piece. And like Gotham Knights isn't a great game, but a part of why Gotham Knights got so much hate was because they said it's 30 frames and people were like, I'm out right away. It's like, but it runs great. Like it's fun to play. Why does 30 versus 60? Movies are in 24.
Yeah.
You're gonna stop watching movies now?
I mean, not Gemini Man. That baby was pumped to 120.
And it made people sick. I think gaming is different because you're moving, and I think it's even more so on PC.
You can move faster.
You can move faster. You have quick reflexes with the mouse.
Yep.
I also, though, I think this is super funny. There's this person who put out a video and was like, this is what difference in frames actually looks like. And it was a black dot moving across the screen at 30 frames and 60 frames. And it's like, wow, yeah, you can see the difference. You know what every video game isn't, though? A black circle on a white screen. It's a tree with sunlight coming through it and birds flying across the sky and you're racing in a car. It's a million different things happening.
Yeah.
Where it's not even going to be noticed.
Yeah.
Black dot on a screen, looking for it, yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
For
I
sure.
like that answer.
Mine is maybe the most controversial out of all these, would be my guess. Dialogue trees, where they have the nice dialogue or the mean dialogue or the neutral dialogue. I just think that chances are it's not going to change the story, the overall story, enough for it to be a really worth the development cost and time to implement something like that. Just give me character relationships that are predetermined, and that's I get that maybe you want to go romance so and so in Mass Effect.
Yep, I do.
But you could also build those romances in, and from game to game you could experiment with it.
You get to choose who you're. You can only romance one, and everybody picked Ashley on the first playthrough, and on the second playthrough they're like, "Who are these other people?"
But I think
who's this chick in the engine room, man?
I think Mass Effect is a bad example for that because Mass Effect is one where your decisions do matter, and it's one of the few
decisions
games
matter on a micro scale, or on a macro scale, but not on a no. They matter with the characters, which is cool. But at the end of the day, there were 3 endings to Mass Effect 3, and they were all practically the same. Like, in the greater terms of the story.
Gotcha.
But
that's why it's a side quest, bro.
Yeah, no, and that's why I say it's going to be controversial. Because I think I just prefer that idea of reading the book, not choose my own adventure.
You do realize you pre-ordered Starfield.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I'm not losing sleep over it.
I do agree with you, though. There is some games where it's just like Remnant 2 has dialogue choices. And it's a lot of times I'm either just picking what I have to pick, and it's just like, can I just watch the scene? And it's, I guess I'm clicking it to see what I'm saying because your character doesn't talk. Mm-hmm. But, like, even then, there's some bosses where it's like, I can give you this and fight you, or I can not give this to you and not fight you. It's like,
I'm gonna fight you. That's why I'm playing this.
I'm gonna have to come back later anyway and fight you if I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think the other thing, kind of along the same lines, is honor systems. Mm-hmm. Very few games do it well. Yeah. In my opinion, I think Red Dead does it well. KOTOR, I've heard, does it really well. Fable always did it really well. Mm-hmm. But then there's games that try and it just doesn't really work. Yeah. Baroque has one, games that add character levels so that they can pretend to be an RPG, but stat increases are predetermined and linear. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's your point.
Even just, well, maybe that's what he's even saying, RPG elements and
as a whole, right?
Linear story-driven games.
Looking at you, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. I even think there's games like, I don't know how Star Wars Jedi Survivor handled this, but something like, what was the first one called? Fallen Order, where it's like, here's this, like, choose how you want to play. Like, and you can choose which RPG things you want to...
Like your force powers.
What stats you want to do. And the game is just not open enough, like, for me to really feel like that matters. I feel like you could give us those things incrementally in a more linear story and make those levels more interesting. You could build specific sections around that and not force me to come back after I've, completed a level to just find the one little collectible up here that I need the triple jump to get. Yeah.
I think Survivor did a good job of combating that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot
much better implemented.
And a lot more freedom.
Yeah.
Because, even you can pick the different stances. You can do this, pick this, pick this, pick this. But then you're just a master of none of them.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to focus on the blaster stance once I get it.
You also start with everything you had at the end of
That's nice.
The first one.
That helps.
That was one of the
Which
best
is
parts.
such a great...
It's like, I could double jump right
in the beginning. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, no, I just thought that was an interesting question.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did kind of stem from Gamescom because you're hearing all these things and you're like, oh, well, what is one of those things that I just really don't care about?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we have one more Fanbox question from Siebel. Siebel wants each of us, the hosts, to cast the others in a movie series, and what role would they play? So, for example, this is not mine, but for example, if I were to, cast you two in Star Wars, I would say, I would cast Tyler as the Obi-Wan and Luke as C-3PO.
Let's go! The worst Star Wars character!
So,
Jeez.
that was just an off-the-cuff example. Have you guys thought about being able to think about this at all? I know it's...
I've thought about it zero.
Give you a few minutes. I'll talk. We'll continue talking so there's not just awkward silence, dead air. I think...
This is hard to answer. I'm trying not to use, like...
Star Wars.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Oh. Well, like, for me, like, an easy one, right? And I've not seen this movie, so probably not a great example. But Luke as the Miles Teller character in Whiplash, because he plays drums. Right? Like,
yeah.
I feel like that's... It's like a layup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, am I casting Luke in that role because he's good at playing drums, or am I casting Luke in that role because it's all I can think of?
Whoa.
Okay,
I haven't played in a while.
here's mine. I would cast you two in Knives Out.
Oh, that's good. I like this.
And you're the cops in the first movie.
Dude, they don't stand a chance.
We would crush that. I would. Okay. All right, I see what you're doing. So I have to cast both of you. I'd cast Brett as the J.K. Simmons. Just him berating
Just so you know, when you start berating me, I'm gonna cry. I won't be able to take it.
Just so you know, when I start berating you, I'm gonna cry.
Just picture that I'm your daughter.
Really bad at it.
Baroque says, "Dang, I had Lucas 3PO too." That's fantastic. I would cast you guys as the additional fighter pilots in Top Gun.
Ooh.
Like not like Iceman and Maverick, but the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like Fanboy, like in Top Gun Maverick, it'd be like Fanboy and what's the other guy's name?
Groundhog.
Bob?
Yeah, Bob. There you go.
Pulled that one out of my butt.
What's your call sign? Bob.
Bob.
Just Bob?
Bob.
Yeah.
Here's my runner up. My runner up is I'm casting you guys in Avatar, as the older brother.
Unobtainium.
No. As the Sully brothers. So like the older brother and then the younger bratty brother.
Luke's older than me, though.
I lived. Ooh, spoilers.
That movie made $2 billion. Everyone's seen it.
Not me.
What the? How have you still not seen it?
I waited forever to see Avatar 1, too.
Okay.
And on Hulu.
And on HBO Max.
HBO and Disney Plus. You'll have time. You can just hold your baby and watch
we'll
it.
have time probably here.
Will
I'll
you,
probably
though?
watch.
Starfield
Your
comes
Xbox
out.
will overheat while you're playing Starfield. And
I'll be like holding my baby and playing.
Oh.
Like holding like a bomb.
All right.
I'm just packing around. Dane will be like, "Here, like, no, don't grab her yet. Hold on, I'm trying to finish this mission."
Transformers. I would cast one as you as the Autobot best friend of Optimus Prime. That isn't Bumblebee. So like the Mirage. character.
Mhm.
Love it.
And one of you as the Decepticon best friend. You guys would clash.
Dude.
But
That'd
then
be sick.
That would be sick.
fall in love. Robots.
Also
in love.
sick. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is great.
Heck yes, I'm in.
The other answer, I'd cast you. This is a little bit of a cheat, but in the Bond franchise, one of you would be a villain in one of you would be a villain in it.
I appreciate that Luke is pitting us against each other. That was not an angle I saw coming.
I like it.
And thank you for
I would, if I casted you
subverting my
guys
expectations.
in Bond, one of you would
Just
be.
call me Ryan Johnson, baby.
One of you would be Q, and one of you would be M.
No, not big enough roles. I've been rewatching the Bond movies, and you guys are above those roles. No
Oh,
offense
thanks.
to the British, but
Have you seen my acting? It's not great.
also you couldn't play those roles because you're not British.
It's true.
It's true.
You'd be American bad guys.
That's true.
Also,
One of us could be the CIA.
Felix Leiter?
Yeah.
No, bad guys.
Okay.
Plot twist: Felix Leiter's the bad guy.
In your movie? Love it.
So actually, I was thinking about this today because I've been watching the Bond movies, and Barbie just came out, and I was like, "What's the opposite thing that Ryan Gosling could do of Ken?" I think he should play the next Bond villain after David Dastmalchian does, because I know he wants to do it. He'd be good.
Dude, he would be a great Bond
He would
villain.
be great.
He's all for like weird body, like weird stuff that's always in the Bond movies. He'd be in.
Plus, like Gosling would only have to do one, and he's done.
I need a Bond movie. I think we've talked about this before, but I need a Bond movie that crosses over with Knives Out, so we get Daniel Craig interacting with another James Bond as Blanc.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Break it. Break canon.
It's his twin brother.
Pardon my language. Fuck canon.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa!
There's been 2 F-bombs tonight. We just lost our PG-13 rating.
Whoa.
I've had too much
Whoa.
whiskey.
Okay, do we need to get to what we've been doing? Thank you for that question, Seabull.
Well, yeah. Luke, you were talking about what you've been doing a little bit. We lead it in with
I've been
some
sick.
James Bond.
I've been sick a lot this week.
Okay.
But
you're better now.
I'm better now.
Oh,
yes.
thank God.
I'm still immune to COVID, I should say. Didn't have COVID.
Good.
So I actually 100% believe I'm immune. Because that has been happening for 3.5 years now? Never gotten it.
How is it? How has it been that long? Crazy.
Anyway, I've watched 9 Bond movies. And I just will say this too. I'm not just straight up watching. The old ones are all the same.
Yeah.
They have the exact same structure,
Mm-hmm.
almost the exact same jokes. They're a lot of fun. Most of them are bad.
Yeah.
And I'll start paying more attention once we get further along.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Die Another Day. Worst one. So that's something I've been doing. So Bond has been on the mind.
Nice.
I beat Remnant 2.
Mm-hmm.
The final boss of that game was insane. That game was so awesome. It's currently my game of the year. If it stays there, congrats Remnant for being awesome. But that also means that Starfield and probably Baldur's Gate did not impress. So, but that game is awesome. A pro of it is its procedurally generated world, but it's also kind of a con because you finish your version and you don't get everything. If you have to go back and refight stuff and kind of do it in different ways, and it's really cool because it adds a lot of replayability. But it's like, oh, I gotta go there again.
Yeah.
I gotta go talk to this guy again. I gotta go to this area again. And it's really cool when you get a different dungeon, but then you also get one you've already done. It's like, oh, not as cool. But the boss fights in that game are awesome. The last boss was super hard, and I played on easy. I was struggling. Great game. I think I'd give it a booyah.
Nice.
So
That's awesome.
I can't wait to This
That's
is one
final
I want to
rating.
play really bad. It's just unfortunately in a time where I'm not going to be able to get into that.
it's in the best year of gaming ever. And
Yes.
Yeah. And then lastly, lots of Destiny 2.
What'd you talk about?
Which I did talk about. Season of the Witch. Eris is a hive god now. It's awesome.
Nice.
It's freaking awesome.
Nice. Baroque casted us in a hockey movie.
Oh, yes.
Goon 3?
What did he say here? Guys in a hockey movie. Tyler equals
All-Star D-Man.
All-Star D-Man. Okay, so I want to be
Mighty Ducks 4.
Nick Backstrom. Is that okay, Baroque? Yeah. Old Backy. Let me be him. Luke is going to be the wisecracking backup goalie. Dude, that's a freaking awesome role.
Yes, I'm a backup. I get paid, but I don't have to play.
And Brett is the video coach?
I get to play even less.
Yeah, look at you.
I just get to sit on the sidelines.
But are you even an athlete?
I get to videotape both of you.
Is that a euphemism? I've been watching a lot of Bond, okay? Every name is a sexual pun. There's literally a character named Pussy Galore.
There is, yeah.
How did they get away with that?
I'm Dr. Goodhead. Oh, wow. So clever. You're so funny. It's the year 1971, and I bet they're all like, gosh.
Baroque, I'm curious who you're a fan of in hockey. Just out of curiosity. I'll jump into what I've been doing. Madden 24, still playing franchise mode. Finally kind of found my groove in it. Still a harder Madden than years prior.
Mm-hmm.
And I've kind of enjoyed it. It's a different kind of playthrough for me on Madden, which is really nice. Go Commanders.
Get good.
I've been reading American Prometheus, the biography of Oppenheimer. I am reading a fiction book to go alongside it because with the birth of the kid, Oppenheimer's a hard book to read if you're not like really focused on it. I've been trying to read like a fiction book to kind of spell that. So I'm reading a book called Fairy Tale by Stephen King. Super intriguing, really enjoying it so far. Not quite into the fairy tale portion, but I'm getting there. I listened to an audio drama. Several years ago, DC announced a partnership with Spotify to make a DC kind of audio universe type thing.
Yeah.
And there's one called Batman Unburied. And it stars Winston Duke as Batman, which is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
There's several other famous people in it. Gina Rodriguez is Barbara Gordon. What's the guy who plays Riddler? It is Hassan Minaj.
Oh, yeah.
He's the Riddler. He's really good. It's a really good show, and I wasn't sure how it would work for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about there's this murderer called the Harvester, who's Sam Witwer, who is kind of
awesome,
ravaging Gotham, and Batman disappears. And so it's kind of about that. It really follows Barbara and all these things trying to find Batman, and it's really good. I've been very impressed with it. So if you're a Spotify person, I'd recommend checking it out. It's pretty cool. I beat a game called Firewatch. This was one that was on my list several years ago. Just never got around to it. It was on Game Pass. They took it off. Well, they recently put it back on Game Pass, and I was playing it when I didn't have time to play full Madden games. So if I had like 30 minutes, I'd hop on and play Firewatch. It helps. It's a 4-hour experience. It's not super long, so I was able to kind of push through it pretty quick. But this is a game about a guy who's kind of fallen on hard times. Him and his wife develops early onset dementia. He's taking care of her, goes out one night, gets a DUI. Her family takes her back to Australia, where she's from. And your guy goes to become a Firewatch in a national park because he just needs to be away from society. Mm-hmm. And you basically you're a Firewatch. You're sent out to take fireworks away from teenagers. And then one night you do that and you're on your way back and you see somebody with a flashlight like shining it at you. And then you can't see them. You can just see like their silhouette. And basically it just kicks off this giant mystery within this national park about this person who went missing and who was this person who's looking at you. And there's this gated area in the national park that shouldn't be there or mapped. And it's a really cool kind of walking simulator game. It's not really complex, but it's an interesting story with great voice acting.
Is it like 3D?
Yeah.
Or is it a side scroller? Or?
No. It's a 3D game. It's first person. Yeah, it's a pretty unique experience. Yeah, like here's a shot from when you're kind of walking around and
looks cool.
Yeah, you have like all the dialogue is done through a walkie-talkie, which is kind of cool. So you never meet this other character that you're talking to the whole game, which I think is pretty neat. But basically, like this is your little tower that you're in, and you have like things, and they tell you to go out. Hey, go check this out. Go do this. Go take these fireworks. Go find these people. There's like little supply caches that you go and you pick up. Hey, I need a new axe, or like you just pick up these things from these supply caches, and they have codes and all this stuff. It's a really cool experience. It's on Game Pass. It's a really quick play. It's got a pretty interesting story. I will say, and I will warn people if you are going to play it, the end. So the mystery it's setting up feels really big, and it's really not that big. Like if you go into it expecting it to be huge, you're going to be like, oh, that was kind of lame. But if you think of it as like more of this deeply personal journey about kind of reclaiming yourself as well as trying to do the right thing in a hard situation, I think you'll find it pretty enjoyable. So it's a fanboy worthy for me. Definitely one I would recommend if story is kind of your jam. The other thing I watched Black Adam and Shazam Fury of the Gods with Dana. Black Adam is such a weird movie because like the first half of it's not bad. And the back half,
it's good.
Yeah, the back half of it is
it's horrible.
Yeah, it's really bad. So it's just such a weird viewing experience, like watching it a second time because you know what's coming and you're like, oh,
skateboard
kid. Well, it's just so crazy because the wildest thing to watch the second time is just The Rock's slow, like fall back to being The Rock. Because at the beginning of this movie, like he's actually pretty good. You're like, oh, okay, this is different, and then he just becomes The Rock, and you're like. Oh,
dude, Tobin the Man in Black.
God. Yeah, Since You.
you.
And then Shazam! Fury of the Gods definitely loses its luster on the second viewing, but it's still a good movie. I still enjoy it. Definitely not as good as Shazam 1, but still a fun experience. And then I did another live stream for Bleacher Report. That was today, the 28th.
I watched it.
Luke tuned in, which is cool. It's still in the Big 12 news section if you want to go check it out. We were making our final predictions on records.
Chat was lit.
Chat was lit. It carried over 80 viewers for a while. It's pretty hectic. So that was cool and nerve-wracking and all the things. But the last thing I did, and I'm going to go very quickly on this. I checked out Death Stranding on PlayStation. This is a game that Luke recommended a while back. He really liked it, and I had kind of been circling. I had even talked to Luke about borrowing his a while back. But I came across the marketplace deal, kind of threw out like a lowball offer, and they said yeah, and I was like, oh shoot, okay. So I picked it up, right? And
yours is a PS5 version.
It is, yeah.
So yours probably plays better than mine.
And it has the DualSense stuff, and it's pretty neat. But this game scratches an itch about hiking that I really didn't think a game could. I thought Firewatch might, but it didn't. To an extent it does, but not like this. But I think the bigger thing, and my bigger takeaway is, because I text Luke about it, is Kojima has to be one of the most unique human beings on the planet. And I don't say that like as a joke. This isn't a tongue-in-cheek comment. Everything in this game, as weird as it feels like Brett and I were kind of talking about this. It feels believable within the world that Kojima has built, and I'm just not quite sure anybody else could make a game like this.
Yeah,
like anybody. Like I don't think there's anybody out there who could do this. And I just think that's worth celebrating. Like even if that's not a game for you, like give it a chance. Or there's novelizations of this. Go read those.
There is no game like it.
No, there's nothing like this. And
true.
I've played like an hour and a half of it, 2 hours. There's nothing like it. It's absolutely mind blowing.
And it's crazy that like you say that 2 hours in, and then you hit 40 hours, you're just like, what the freaking crap, man?
Dude,
like,
I got caught in like a tar pit, and there was like a dolphin trying to attack me, and I was like, nobody mentioned the dolphins. I've seen whales. Nobody said anything about dolphins.
There's dolphins and dogs and people, and
it is seriously one of the coolest games I've ever played. And I'm just scratching the surface. This unfortunate part is the timing of when I've ended up with this game in my hands. But I am looking forward to playing it.
I'm excited for you to get guns eventually too.
Yeah, I was wondering when I would get that.
Shoot your blood at people. Well, at BTs, but
yeah.
The presentation, your blood will not do much against a normal person. It's like a paintball gun.
The presentation for this game is incredible. I definitely understand why they're making movies. I definitely understand why this is getting a sequel, having not even played a fraction of it. I'm excited to get into this one. I like it a lot. And that is all I did. Sorry, I went long this time. I filled the Luke role.
That's right. And
I can review each Bond movie I watched. I have a Letterboxd ranking list currently going.
Oh my gosh. You're insane. I didn't do much this week. I will mention the other podcast I'm a part of, Deconstructing the MCU. We're putting out our Spider-Man Homecoming episode, I think within the next week.
Good movie.
So you'll get to hear us talk about that. If you find out over there, it's recorded. We record a couple episodes in advance, so we did we just record? I don't know. We recorded another one.
Guardians 2?
Nope, it was the one after Guardians 2.
Captain Marvel.
Nope, sure wasn't. Captain Marvel came after Infinity War.
Doctor Strange. Captain America.
Oh, it was Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, good movie.
Yeah, Thor Ragnarok. Yeah. So that was a fun one to talk.
Dude,
talk with Trevor about.
Phase 3 was awesome.
Phase 3 was interesting. Upon rewatch, I'm ranking a lot of them lower than I thought I would, but they still like.
Because Phase 4 made you go, oh, these aren't as good as.
I'm walking out of most of them. Right? I say walking out. I'm not. I'm turning off most of them from my couch and being like, yeah, it was good. not great, but good. Like, they have their moments. So, and yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much the only other thing I've been doing. I played a little bit of Apex recently, but mostly just kind of getting hyped for Starfield, and I keep grinding away on that thing that I can't talk about. So one day you'll hear about it.
Should we do an over-under for hours played for Brent and Starfield?
Ooh, please do.
Like, in the end?
Yeah, when he's eventually not playing it anymore.
When I finally uninstall it.
Let's set it at 17 and a half.
So low.
Under. You're busy and you don't play single player games.
That's true. Look, it's a game that I am planning on playing. You know, I'm planning on spending 6 months on it, not.
What's this
4
campaign
weeks.
length rumored to be?
Probably like
20,
25. 25 at the most.
We should set it
so
at
25.
20. Yeah. 25 hours? Under. Hammer the under.
Okay, you've heard it here. I now have something to beat.
Luke, I'll take the over on.
I'm currently winning in my prediction that he won't beat Control.
It's true.
This is true.
You need to get on
currently
Control, my friend.
You are currently winning that bet.
That was my most unbold prediction. It's a guaranteed win. I knew it from the second I wrote it down.
Oh my goodness.
I beat that game again. And the DLC. Dude, the Alan Wake DLC. Did I ever talk about that?
I'm so proud of you, and you know how much time you have as a single man living by yourself.
Single, no children, no life. It's great.
What different lives we lead.
I'm gonna go reset my Crucible rank again.
I game vicariously through you is what we're gonna go with here. So, all right, thank you so much for tuning in this week live on Twitch. We stream these live Monday nights, 8 p.m. Central Time. Thank you for watching it on YouTube or listening to it via the podcast. We'll be back next week with some definite impressions of Starfield, and
I may or may not be here.
Tyler may or may not
have beat the game already.
Luke,
dude, they added New Game Plus.
Yeah, and they made a twist for it.
Have time.
I'm excited for that.
I'm very curious what they did because they were like very tongue in cheek about it. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
See ya.
Goodbye.